Okay, so what's up, y'all? Backwoods Garage here doing a video, and today we're gonna be showing off my personal equipment updated version. So stay tuned. Okay, so this is your first time joining us. My name is Steve. So today we're gonna be doing an updated version of my personal equipment. Video, which I've done a video on this a couple years ago, I believe. I'm not sure what year it was when I done it, but your equipment updates over time. You get new things, so it's maybe something I'll do every few years. But I wanted to show you what I have currently here as of 2025. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so since I'm already right here, we're going to start right here. So first things first, I'm going to show you which we had at the time, but I forgot about, and so this right here is a hedge trimmer. Now I haven't really invested in a gas power one yet, so that's why I still have this corded one. Now this is a hedge trimmer. This is a Black & Decker hedge trimmer. As you can see, I don't know if you can see the handle's kind of in the way there, but now this is an old hedge trimmer my papa on my daddy side bought back in 1978. So this is a over 40-year-old hedge trimmer, probably about 45, I believe. Same year my aunt was born, so I think it would be no 47. I think because she's 47, so it'd be this is a 47-year-old hedge trimmer. And this thing still works, still does a pretty good job too. And now using a cord is kind of aggravating, I will say that, but like I said, this thing does a pretty good job. Now we don't trim hedges all the time, so we just used this the other day to trim the bushes in front of the house, and this thing does a pretty good job actually. So for a 47-year-old hedge trimmer, this thing's still pretty good. Yeah, I can't really complain about it. Okay, so up here, I don't know if you can see it, but if I can move my blower tube out of the way, I can get it down here. Gonna move some things. There's a tool for it. Now this thing is a little heavy. Oh, this is my chainsaw. This is a big Stihl MS 290, I believe. Now I haven't really got to working quite yet, and this thing has a lot of compression. It's heavy. We can never really get this thing to pull off. So this is a pretty big chainsaw. It's pretty cool. Now I don't cut stuff a whole lot. Cut wood and stuff every day, so I don't really use a chainsaw very often. But this is a pretty big chainsaw in case you need to for some big things I need to cut. But we also have a corded chainsaw too. They make battery powered chainsaws. I haven't invested in one yet, but I may in the future. I don't know. But yeah, that's a pretty heavy chainsaw too. Now the story behind that is my papa on my mama's side, he ended up buying one of them battery powered ones because it was hard for him to pull that one because that thing had a lot of compression. I think there may be something wrong with it because it shouldn't have that much compression. It shouldn't be that hard to pull. But besides, he has a problem with his arm too, so it's hard for him to pull it anyway. So he ended up buying a battery powered one, and he ended up giving me that one. So but Stihl is pretty good. That's the first Stihl thing I've ever had too. Okay, so what else we got here? There's a Craftsman chainsaw over here too, but I'm not going to show you that because that doesn't work, and we're probably going to end up, if we can get that to run, we'll probably end up selling that because I don't plan on keeping that. That's just something somebody gave us a long time ago, and them Craftsman chainsaws ain't no good no way. So like I said, I don't plan on keeping that. We'll probably end up selling that if we can get it to work. So I don't count that as personal. Okay, so if you're wondering why there's a little bit of a weird kind of cut here, it's because when I went to put the video together, I realized I had left out something very important about the blower. An important detail. You have some of a previous one that I had before and everything. So a little bit later, I came down here and so to fix this. So if you hear much of popping noises and explosions, something like gunfire, fireworks going off because it's 4th of July. So people shooting fireworks and stuff. So you probably hear that in the background. But anyway, so this is my Echo PB580 backpack blower. Now, I got this as a Christmas present. I think in Christmas of 2022. I think a couple years ago. I can't remember exactly what year, but this has been a very good Christmas present. Now, the first blower that I ever used out here was, I think, was a corded weed eater blower, and loud. It was a extremely loud blower, and I done a video on those three blowers, so I'll put a thing up above, or so you can go watch that video and you can see how loud it is. But yeah, so extremely loud, and especially if you're blowing inside the shop, it's ear piercingly loud. And but I didn't throw it away though after we got the Ryobi, because it's actually still a pretty powerful blower. And then like I said, we got that battery powered Ryobi one, and which it was a lot quieter. I liked that about it, but it lacked power. It didn't blow very good. Yeah, the battery didn't stay charged very long either. So, and then so I used it for a little while, and then then Christmas came, and I got this backpack blower for Christmas, and I really like this blower. This is a very, very awesome blower. Now they make some that are bigger than this one, but sorry, I got hiccups there. But this does what I need to do. I really love this blower. This is one of my favorite things that I have. This makes life so much easier when I get ready to blow the mower off, blow off concrete during mowing season. Blow leaves during leaf season. It just makes life a lot easier. So one of my favorite things that I have. I really, really like it. Okay, so before we go over there, actually I do have one other piece of personal, I guess you could say it's personal equipment that I do have. Is this little Ryobi weed eater, and now I haven't used that, and it's been a long time since I used that thing. It's been years since I used that, and that's because it really don't stay charged long enough to do the yard. I've used it a couple of times when we first bought it, and I mean, it was easy to use, but it wouldn't stay charged long enough to do the whole yard. 'Cause I got a lot of obstacles I have to weed eat around out here. So the backyard ain't as bad, but the front yard I got a bunch of trees and the ditches in front of the house, and around bushes and stuff. There's a lot of things I got to go around it. Like I said, that wouldn't stay charged long enough to do them all. And so I would be far away from the shop, and I have to stop what I'm doing, come all the way back in here, get another battery, put the other one on charge. So that was really annoying. Now, if you bought one like a Toro or Echo or something, it would probably, Toro or Echo or Steel. I mean, that would probably be better. They'd stay charged longer, but cause that's kind of a cheap one. But we really bought that for the blower, and which I think the blower is actually upstairs because we use it in the garage. Sometimes we'll stuff out of the garage, but now that since I don't use it, that's why it's been kind of accumulating junk on it over here. So because there's distilled water, and I think that's window washing fluid right there and the other thing. So like I said, still I guess you can call it personal equipment, but I don't use it because I don't like this curved shaft either. Because a curved shaft on a weed eater really it hurts your back some horrible. That's one reason why I didn't like using it. So yeah, I still use a gas one, and I'll get into that in just a minute. So let's now go over here. So now here is my pressure washer, which you've seen this pressure washer me use it a couple of times in the videos, because I used it to pressure wash that front tine tiller. I used it on quite a few different things. I can't remember exactly everything off the top of my head using it on, but I've used it on quite a few projects and things in other videos. And now I got this at Costco the year I finished high school, and which would have been 2021. And that's why I didn't buy a class ring at the time, because I bought something, because class rings are kind of expensive, and I bought something I could actually use because I needed a pressure washer. So, which I actually ended up getting a class ring for Christmas a couple years later. Because I kind of hated I didn't buy one. But anyway, getting back to the point. This is a Husqvarna PW3200 pressure washer, and this has been a pretty good little pressure washer too. Before that, I was using a Portland electric corded pressure washer I got from Harbor Freight, and I mean that thing did good for what it was, but I didn't like having to use a cord, and using a cord with something that's with water that's kind of a fire hazard that gets submerged. So it's kind of a little bit of a safety issue right there. But like I said, since I ended up getting this one here, I need to clean it off. It's a little bit dirty because last time I used it, I pressure washed lower deck and something else, but I got a bunch of dirt all over. I need to wash it off and clean it. But it's got a Briggs & Stratton CR950 engine on it, which I think is like a clone of a Predator engine. So it's got the same heads and everything, and a lot of the same stuff that those Harbor Freight Predator engines do. But I mean, those seem to work pretty good. My granduncle's front tiller it's got one of those on there because he had to repower because the original Briggs & Stratton engine threw a rod or something, and when we used that engine ran pretty good. It was a pretty good engine. Like I said, I can't really complain about this one either. This one does run pretty good, and now it did have an issue the other day when I went to start up, which was actually my fault because I left some fuel sitting in it too long. Yep, we all do that. It happens. Even Terrell done that with Snowzilla. He left gas in it too long and didn't want to work. So, everybody does that. Yeah, it happens sometimes. But like I said, pretty good rod pressure washer. I would highly recommend buy one of these. It was kind of expensive. It was a little over $300, I think. But like I said, it was a well spent $300, and I haven't put a whole lot of hours on this either because I'm not out here using it every single day. So so that is my pressure washer. So now this right here is my yard trailer that I use, and now that white thing over there that doesn't go to this or anything. That's just a part of an old washer we took apart a long time ago, or dryer, or whatever. I can't remember what that was, but some kind of appliance. But anyway, this is my trailer that I put on the back of the mower. This thing right here you can take and so you can undo the pin right here, take this out, and you can fold this down so then you can use it by hand, which my dad had this undone the other day, done like this because he had to using it to pick some bricks up that fell down over there and move them, but because there was a pile of bricks we had to get the other day. But I mostly keep this in this position for the mower because 99.9% of the time I use it on the back of the mower because I usually before I mow and stuff, I'll drive around and get sticks up and stuff like that. So I'll attach this to the mower real quick and then I'll drive around and get all the sticks up. So I don't want to run over something there. Some of them are pretty large. I don't want to tear my mower up. So that's why I keep it in this position. Now you can also, when you back it up, which backing up trailer is a little bit difficult sometimes. But my daddy, I heard from what I heard, he could back them up real good. Unfortunately, I never did know him because he passed away before I was born. But now there's a handle back here you can undo, and this will come down. Which when you have this on the mower, this part will go forward, and you can dump your load out and everything. And then you can do it back behind, which a lot of times you have to get off the mower and do it. A lot of times, though, I can actually reach it and grab this and pull it back down, so I don't actually have to get off the mower. But so it's a pretty nice trailer, and we got it stored up out of the way over here too, so that really helps. So that is my yard trailer. Okay, so up here is my Echo weed eater that I use a lot. I mentioned a minute ago I got the other electric one I don't hardly ever use, but this one I use all the time out here, and this is a pretty good weeder too. I really like this weeder. Now, the very first one we ever had was a cheap like weeder brand one from like Walmart or something, and it worked a couple of times I think, but eventually it got to where it didn't want to work, and my dad could never get that thing to work right again after that. I remember one time I was using it by the tree out here, which that tree is actually ain't there no more. We got it cut down, but because it was dead. But anyway, I was using it by where that tree used to be, and it just died and it would not start back up. And it sat down here for a long time, and we eventually ended up taking it apart and scrapping a lot of it and keeping the good stuff. But we bought this Echo to replace it, and this has been a very good weeder. And like I said, can't complain much about it. There's another one over there too that's a Cub Cadet brand weeder that somebody gave us a long time ago, and that one doesn't work yet. I haven't really had time to work on it, and so I did have a Red Match one, but I did do a video on that Red Match one, but I never did actually get that one running because that was kind of a cheap weed eater, and it had a lot of other problems and stuff, so we ended up taking it apart. I still got some other pieces to it, but we ended up throwing a lot of it away. But because that Cub Cadet weed eater is a better one than the Red Max, that's why we kept it instead of the other one. But that may be a future video. Maybe we're gonna get that Cub Cadet I'll probably use it too. So this is an older Cub Cadet too. It's got a toggle switch on it too. But yeah, so that one doesn't run. But this is my main weed eater right here, and I really love this thing. This is a very awesome weed eater. So that is my Echo weed eater. Okay, so now this right here is my Cub Cadet 1525 riding lawnmower. Now, if y'all watched my video since, well, actually, if you watch my original video I done this, I have this mower. But if y'all watched, my videos that I done since I started this channel, if y'all remember, I used to use a small Murray riding lawnmower out here that was like originally had 12 horsepower engine, but that engine had a wore out piston or something, so we ended up putting that 14.5 on it and everything, and that pre-strated 14.5 that when it says quiet on it, which is not exactly quiet, but now that mower was a very cheap mower, had a lot of issues with, and so a couple of years after that we got into this channel. My papa, again on my mama's side, he ended up buying a new Cub Cadet Zero Turn, and so he ended up giving me this one. And this has been a very awesome mower. I really like this mower. And now it does, this has got a Kawasaki 15, let's see. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head because the stickers broke. If I look at it again, I'll recognize it, but I can't remember. The stickers messed up, so I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but it's got an older Kawasaki engine on it. And this is a pretty reliable engine on this thing. And now this is not the only. We got some old at my grandmother's too. We got the two Craftsmans, which I've done videos on. We got 245 that I did on it, and also got that John Deere L118, which I haven't done a review on yet, but I do plan on doing soon. So, but this is my equipment that I use out here. I'm going over, so I'll show all that stuff later. But so this is my mower that I use out here, and this has been a very good, reliable mower. I really like it. And now we had a lot of problems with that. That Murray, switch went out. Like I said, the other engine had to be replaced because I had a wore out piston. Had bad bearing in the deck. We had to replace one time. Goes through solenoid, something horrible. Every time we turn around, we were working on that thing, and which we did take that out to my grandmother's house because we had a leaf bagger for it. We did use a bag up loose, but if we think I mentioned in another video that Murray, the transmission finally kicked the bucket. It doesn't work anymore, so we're going to end up having to take that one apart, and we're probably going to end up putting that engine on the snapper, which is actually right over here, and which I ain't going to show you that today because it's got a pile of stuff around it right now. So I haven't got around to doing that video yet because we still got to take that engine off that other mower, or get that mower out here, or take that engine off and get it out here. We'll have to figure it out, but so we'll have to get that out here so we can get that engine on and everything and get it ready. So once we do that, I'll probably do some videos on the snapper, revisited. But like I said, this is my Cub Cadet 1525. It's got hydrostatic transmission. It's got a electric PTO clutch. It does has a pretty big tank on it too. Holds a lot of gas and everything. So like I said, I really like this mower, and I highly recommend one of these if you're in the market for a good reliable riding mower. Okay, so lastly but not least, obviously didn't have this when I done my last personal equipment video, but this here is my Yanmar YM2500 tractor. Now originally my papa bought this thing, or he traded a small Kubota on it, and he used this thing for a long time, and then he ended up buying a new Kubota, so he ended up giving me this one. And now this thing is pretty reliable. I really like using this tractor. I had to use it the other day to get my mower unstuck because I got it stuck where I tilt the gardens. I think I should have raised the deck higher. I was trying to cut the grass the same height as the rest of the yard, and I ended up getting stuck. So I'm probably gonna have to cut it higher and then go over again. But anyway, that does good help when someone that happens help get me unstuck. And now this does have a radiator problem. with the radio. It's got a puncture in it. If I'm running this thing for a while, it won't start running hot. So that's a problem I have to fix too. Now, this has a Yanmar 3-cylinder diesel engine in it too. Pretty good, reliable engine. I'll pop the hood here and I'll show you. It'll be easier for me to show you than the mower a minute ago. But so let me go around here and do the latch. I think I got it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna lift the hood up. So as you can see, that is the engine and everything right there. Which we've done replaced some stuff on here. We put a new igniter on here because the other one had a busted cap, and I couldn't buy just the cap, so we ended up just replacing the whole thing. There's a whole box of Yanmar stuff in there. I might do a video and show you later stuff that we've replaced everything too. So we put a new air filter in here because it actually had the wrong one in it. So we put a new one, put a new wing nut on it too. Had a bolt on it. Let's see, we've replaced some other stuff back here too. We've done a oil change, new oil filter. Just routine maintenance and things. We changed the gear case, the transmission oil here too. So it's just basically just normal maintenances. We did. Now, like I said, the big problem, which I don't know if I'm either gonna have to get this fixed or we're either gonna have to braze it up or we're gonna have to buy a new one. So I don't know what we're gonna do yet because this has a puncture in it somewhere and it leaks. So that's a big problem. Like I said too, it wants to run hot, which there could be something plugged up in here that's keeping antifreeze from getting to the block, because when we drained out the old coolant, put new in there, nothing came out of the block. So that tells me there may not be getting coolant to the block. So that may be why it's wanting to run hot. There's a lot of traffic going back and forth. That may be why I have a little bit of difficulty hearing me because I'm in my garage right now. But so there's some diesel fuel in here, and unlike gasoline, you can leave diesel fuel in something a long time, because diesel fuel lasts a long time. It really don't go bad. Gas, it gets nasty, it separates and it clogs your fuel system up and everything. So now, diesel engines, they don't have carburetors, they don't have spark plugs. That's all gas stuff. This has injectors and stuff right here. These are your injectors, and if you run completely out of diesel, you would have to bleed all these injectors and everything. That's why you don't let it run completely out. Now, a lot of newer diesel engines have glow plugs, but this don't have glow plugs. This is what this igniter is for. This is an old school way of heating your cylinders. You would take this cap off right here and put diesel fuel in there, and then you would take your key and turn it on to this position over here, and it would knot that fuel up and heat the cylinders up. But so pretty good, reliable tractor here. Let me set the hood back down. Now these latches, I have to undo this right here. Now these latches, you lock them too, so when you are using the tractor, your hood don't come flying open when you're going downhill or something. So I do have one implement for this thing so far. So let me turn you around over here, and I'll show you the implement that's on the tractor right now. Okay, so now this is the one implement that I have as of currently, and this is a 5-foot Yanmar RS1504 tiller. And now, if you remember, not too long ago, actually, I think the last video I did, I actually done a video where we tillered the garden spot up with this, and this done a amazing job at tilling that up. That beats that old front tine any day. Now, if you wonder why I didn't show that front tine, it's because that front tine tiller was not actually mine. That was my uncle's tiller that we borrowed because that horse tiller didn't want to start. So so we ended up giving that back to him after we got done with the garden stuff. But like I said, this thing beats one of them old walk behind tillers any day. Okay, so that's my personal equipment I have as of 2025, and so I'm probably gonna do some more videos on some of this stuff. I got some more stuff I'm gonna do on the tractor here and everything. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, it takes me a while to come out with new videos sometimes because when you have stuff happen, family matters and stuff, that it's a little more important. So if you're to see some more content, give me a thumbs up, help me a lot. It doesn't cost y'all a dime, and hit that subscribe button. Till next time.